Hey, what's going on, Freedom Fighters? Welcome back to another broadcast here on Break the Chains Media. Today is June 8th, 2026. And boy, we have got a lot to get into today because you know how I feel about mail-in ballots. You know how I feel about the election process. And if you haven't noticed, if you haven't seen what's happening, the state of California right now and their overt and obvious attempt to keep Spencer Pratt off of the ballot going into the general election here in the midterms is absolutely sickening. And now I know I'm going to get all of the detractors and all these other individuals say, oh, but Corey, but the Democrat voters are 2-1 in California and they completely outnumber Republicans. So why would a Republican ever have a chance to win in California? And to that I say, Spencer Pratt is not even really a Republican, and he said it himself. He is running on a simple and sane policy. Clean up the streets, get the homeless out, let's focus on community, let's focus on these very needed individual things that have to happen in LA, but you got the establishment, you got Karen Bass, and now you have even this Nithya Raman creature crawling out from under third place. Okay, she completely tanked in the mayoral candidate debate, and now she's just skyrocketing up to second place. So we're going to get into all that. We're going to show you the institutional breakdown. We're going to see how their process actually continues the corruption in California. And there's a larger conversation to be had, and I've been having some back and forth with some of my other friends regarding election integrity and regarding what we need to do or what we need to be demanding of our elected officials and our institutions when it comes to the election process and how we as the individuals should be regaining and retaining that power to put these people in office. Now, even some of my anarchist friends who say every vote, every time you vote, you are voluntarily relinquishing your power to govern yourself because you are saying, here, X candidate, I sign off my right to govern my own self by voting for you to make the best decisions to govern for me. And there is an argument to be made when we're talking about, the anarchist and the sovereign citizen or whatever language you want to use. It's not really a sovereign citizen thing, but this innate ability for the individual to be the highest form of government. And I've said that many a times here on my live streams, that is the paramount goal in which we are striving for. However, when we are sitting up against a behemoth, a monolith of calculated corruption and control entrenched for decades within California, within other blue states such as Colorado, yours truly sitting here in the Mile High State, Colorado, Illinois, Michigan, Massachusetts, even you were seeing the redistricting efforts in Virginia. You see all of these blue states institutionalizing their centralized control. So, How do we fight back against this established, entrenched state weaponization of election process? That is what we're going to get into here. We're going to show you all the facts. We're going to get into some fun stuff here on Break the Chains Media. I know it's been a while, so smash that thumbs up button. Be a part of the chain gang here on Break the Chains Media. I do live streams whenever I feel like it, I guess. Now it's the summertime. I got a lot of things going on, and I know I haven't been here for a hot minute because I've been working a new job. I've been doing stuff with the family. I've been trying to focus stuff around the house here. But you know what, folks? When there's important things to be discussed on social media, online, I'll be there. I'll be talking about it. I'll be making the points heard. More videos will be coming out regarding the movement towards the midterms, movement towards these primary races. If you were in Colorado today, June 8th, was the day that they have released all of the mail-in ballots. And we're going to be talking about a lot about that and so much more here on Break the Chains Media, because this is the media channel for your Colorado news, for your national news, for your freedom news, to get the information out to the public. And I know everyone else has a flavor that they want to promote and be a social media influencer. You know, I'm not even trying to be an influencer. I'm just trying to get the information out to the masses and these individuals and this information that I think is most important when we're talking about local candidates, we're talking about local races, we're talking about things that matter the most. That is what I do here. If this is the first time joining Break the Chains Media, you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, all of the things, Break the Chains Media, or heck, check out my website, breakthechains.media. That is the website. That is the landing page. Support the channel. Pick up a bottle of Realm Walker hot sauce. Realm Walker hot sauce, from mild to extreme heat, all of the flavors of the 9 realms in bottle form for your hot sauce enjoyment pleasure. Inspired by Norse mythology and grown in my backyard, made by yours truly, Realm Walker hot sauce is the hot sauce for you. Each flavor is named after one of the 9 realms. And we got a thunderstorm going on, so my dog is going to be very sad here. He's going to be hiding in the corner. But either way, yeah, the thunderstorm is barking at us, and the dog will be crying very shortly. Anyways, let's get into it, folks. This is it. This is real time. It is happening right now. Anyways, here we go. We're making it happen. The dog is hiding in the corner. It's okay. He's a sweet boy. Oh no! Don't go back there. Hey! No! Get out of there! Oh my gosh! He's like, no. Baby, don't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself. Oh my gosh. It's okay. Oh, baby. He's very sad right now. He's hiding under my table. Come here. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Don't. Oh my gosh. You are so sad. He's so sad right now. Sweetie, come in. Are you going to be okay? If you want to sit right there, I'll give you the room to sit right there. Okay? Just don't hurt yourself. Okay? Just don't hurt yourself. He's going to hide under that chair. He's very vocal when he wants to be, but he just hates thunder, and he hates the thundering and fireworks and any loud noises. He's a sad little boy when it comes to that. But Ragnar, he's got a cool name, but he gets scared when there's loud thunder out. So maybe he doesn't like Thor, right? Maybe that's what it is. He hears the thunder. He says, "Oh no, Thor's coming to get me." I don't know. Either way, let's keep on going. Let's keep making it happen. And if I do have to jump back there, he's just hanging out. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. You go chew on your bone. Go chew on your bone, bro. All right. Well, say hi in the chat, and maybe Ragnar will if you give me a Ragnar shout out, I'll let him know how you feel. Okay. But we're getting right into it. We're gonna make it happen here. great. We're just chugging right along. We make this happen. All right. So, folks, this is where we're at here right now, okay? We are sitting here, we are observing, and we are watching the Californian communist counting method of election results, and that is on full display for the entire country, if not the world, to witness. This whole system, this whole structure has been weaponized and rigged against any freedom, any person who stands up against the uniparty, against the control mechanism that has been entrenched so many years in a lot of these blue states. And take this for consideration, because every single blue state that has employed mail-in ballot and universal electronic registration, whether we're talking about registering to vote online or the get out the vote methods that all of these blue states employ, trying to get people to register on various different means and fronts. And California is one of these the largest perpetrators of these get out the vote campaigns. So when you see these get out the vote campaigns, they will do anything and everything they can to boost their voter roll numbers up. And when the voter roll numbers are high, everyone says, oh, that's good for democracy, because everyone needs to have a voice. Everyone needs to be heard when it comes to the election integrity and election results and all these things. Well, folks, what really happens and how these systems really work is that these voter rolls get so padded and so full, so bloated, and I'm not even talking about potential deceased individuals. I'm just talking about the sheer number of individuals filling the rolls, whether it be homeless individuals or illegal immigrants or people here that aren't even registered citizens in the country. This is why the DOJ has deployed over 30 lawsuits to various states across the country demanding the unredacted voter rolls. And we're going to get into that as well. And this all ties in with what we are seeing right now, the campaign against Spencer Pratt to remove him from the second place runner in this jungle primary. Now, the jungle primary is actually really interesting because I do feel like partisan politics has infected and destroyed a lot of the way that the infrastructure of elections work, because so many people feel inclined to subscribe to a party platform, and if you don't adhere to the platform, the party doesn't represent you, the party doesn't support you, and then you no longer are represented by these larger entities, whether it be Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, you name it. And I think that there is a argument to be had to having a non-party, a non-affiliated, a base your race and base your vote on this individual who is running on their various platform. And you might be able to say it's right-leaning or left-leaning or a stricter state enforcement or a less state enforcement. I think that's really where it comes down to, is as far as are we supporting a candidate with more liberty-minded thoughts, or are we supporting a candidate with more centralized control and a larger government, state system, right? These are the conversations we should be having rather than partisan politics. Jerry Lewis over here says it's 2020 all over again. They're in California, but what else is new out there? It is sad. I firmly agree. And you can see here, these are all the posts I have on my Twitter account. It's Break the Chains M on X if you want to follow me there. And we actually have the actual website here from theballotbook.com from Los Angeles County. I've got the numbers. I've got the update. It's actually kind of interesting because this is all the data from the LA City primary nominating election by mayor. And this is something that I really wanted to bring up. Check this out here, folks. So as of 6/7, as of yesterday afternoon, Nithya Raman took the second place spot against Spencer Pratt. In a shocking turn of events, you see thousands and thousands of ballots come from all over the county of Los Angeles, and to show that Nithya Raman, this very disliked and very small campaign who showed up in the mayoral candidate race and showed up in this mayoral debate and completely face planted and had very low support, somehow shockingly pulled out a victory over a candidate, Spencer Pratt, who has over 1 million followers on X and who has a very vocal and very loud social media campaign. And I know social media campaigns don't necessarily translate to votes, but the fact remains is this. We're going to take a look at some of these other evidence, these other points of evidence that we can use to build the case that California is instituting their communist strategy. And when I say communist, you go, well, what kind of strategy is that? It's very simple, folks. It comes back to what Stalin said before. It's not how many votes an individual gets. It's who counts the votes. That's what matters, right? Who is the one counting the votes? That is the one that is what makes the difference when we're talking about the larger scheme of things. What is that? I do have that. Do I have that picture? Let me see. I have the picture pulled up here. Let me see if I can grab it. Grab it and send it over. Yeah. Yeah, because I definitely butchered that line, but we're gonna do this in real time because that's just what I do. That is just a thing that I do that I make happen here. Damn, this rain is really coming down. I'll tell you what. Ragnar, are you okay still? Or are you crying? Are you still okay? Oh, sweetie. He's still sad, but it's okay. Just like this. All right. We're going to... It's not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes. That is by Joseph Stalin. That is why I call it the Communist California Counting Method, folks. It is not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes. And that is what we were talking about when we were employing the larger, higher number of these voter rolls, of this registration. You need to have a high number of voter rolls, of registered quote-unquote voters, so that they can employ these individuals that do not vote, or they're reluctant voters, or they're just signed up, they're in the system, and then they can push and sway the voter totals into whatever race that they need. That is really what I believe is happening. Okay? Right here, another example. Election fraud can happen via many different methods. Sometimes it's just one. Most of the time it's a combination of things. Dirty voter rolls, mail-in ballots, voting machines, and complicit county clerks. That is a huge factor in all of this. The heist taking place in California against Spencer Pratt right now is using all of them. All right? Take a look at this. Exhibit A from the ballot book. Okay? And you can go to this, and I'll actually post this on my X account so everyone can be involved. But if you go over here, I'll have a screenshot of this later. But you can click right here, LA County Primary Nominating Election Mayor. You can have the total accounts, early arriving, and it changes, election day, and it changes, and late arriving. Okay, so each one has a different breakdown. Uh-oh, is it hailing? It's hailing, and I have a garden outside. I am worried about that. Hold on. I might have to put you on a temporary hold. Hold on just a moment, because I have to go make sure that my garden is not going to get jacked up here. Brief intermission, okay? Brief intermission. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. right. That was hilarious. Okay. Okay. Yes, I'm a little wet now. Sorry. I had to go cover all my plants. I think the hail is like finished up now, but I am soaking wet now that I had to cover all my plants. And that's just how live streams go here on Break the Chains Media, man. Cheers. Cheers to avoiding the hail. I mean, there was a couple pretty big pieces, but wow. Okay. Okay. Are you okay, Rank? Come here. Come here. Say hi. I know, he's a sweetie. We're just going to take a little break. Is this one? Yeah. Say hi. I know, he's scared. He's scared. Just because the noise. Just because the thunder and the hail. But it's okay. You're okay now. See? Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Are my frames dropping? No. No. You're a good boy, though. You're a good boy. Okay, go. I don't want to. Go. Go lay down. Go lay down. It's just going to keep raining, Brad. It's just going to keep raining. What? Lay down. Sorry. This is all impromptu, guys. This is just live stream. God, dude, my hair is soaked. All right. Say hello in the chat if you're new. Sorry I had to run away briefly to deal with the hail and the hail and covering my plants in the backyard, but you know, this is where we are right now. This is what we have to do. Apparently, this is how summer is in Colorado now because there's no snow during the winter, so we just get hail in June. I love it. So, anyways, where were we? Moving right along, okay? Just gotta lay down, dude. Where were we? Where were we? All right. Yes. Stalin. It's not who counts the votes. Wait, I said it wrong. Let's start again. It's not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes. That's Stalin. That's why I call it the Communist California it really gets you tongue-tied. The Communist California counting method that is against Spencer Pratt right now. So that is what we're fighting against. But let me show you what I've got. I've got some information. I got some data here to back it up. Okay? So on the ballotbook.com, this is the numbers coming in for the LA County mayoral race. Karen Bass is in the lead. And she is sitting comfortably at 250,000 votes with 34.7% of the share. Okay, that seems all well and good. Nithya Raman coming in a second place victory after 6 days of counting, right? She has 27.1% with 196,000, and Spencer Pratt getting pushed out of his second place spot into now third place in the jungle primary at 26.7%, just 3,000 votes shy of Nithya Raman coming in from behind. How convenient is that? Very convenient for someone who wants to outright ban backyard barbecues and completely eviscerate the state of California. Now, this is the thing. Nithya Raman's not winning. She's not going to win the general. She's not. The fact is that they wanted Spencer Pratt out of the general into the midterms, right? They wanted to make sure that Spencer Pratt was not in the general election because the Democrats, because these people that are entrenched in control in California cannot allow any outsider coming in to ruffle their institutionalized control system that they've established over the last 20, 30 years in California. The same thing applies in Colorado, mind you, and we're going to get into that a little bit later, touch on it a little bit later, but here's some more just mind-blowing things that happened throughout this course, the course of this these last few days in LA County, counting the mayoral race. Absolutely mind-blowing. Check this out, okay? We're gonna see if I can play this large. Let's check this out. This is from Wall Street Apes, folks. Ballots arrive by helicopter in Los Angeles County. Now you tell me where the other instances that we saw late night ballot drop-offs wasn't from helicopters, but we had several late night ballot drop-offs in the middle of the night just because we had to count every one of those votes, right? Let's take a look.
The LA County Sheriff's Department is flying in ballots from vote centers across the region. You can see the choppers landing right now. We're standing in the parking lot of the LA County Registrar's Ballot Processing Center. They land right here in the middle, and then you see workers, they're standing by to pick up those ballots and take them inside. They're picking up ballots from 8 cities, including Lancaster, Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lakewood, Santa Monica, Van Nuys, Pomona, and Torrance. Once they arrive, the ballots are securely transferred inside, where election workers are receiving and processing millions of ballots. While most ballots are transported by vehicle, election officials use helicopters to bring in ballots from some of the county's farthest vote centers.
Yep. How convenient. Look at that, folks. This is the state of affairs that we have to focus in on. And sure, I know that there's going to be people out there, but there are millions of people in LA County, and we have to get every one of the votes. Folks, why are they employing helicopters, late night helicopter drops? How can we confirm that all of these ballots are in fact from who the voters claim that they are? How are we making sure of that? Not only that, folks, the amount of, not just the employment of various different vehicles to bring in ballots, but we have the extremely lax process in which people get put on the voter rolls. So let's take a look at, let's listen to this video here.
We see quite a few, the way the voting system is structured, we see quite a few flaws. You're able to register even and cast a vote if you don't live in the country, as evident of his brother in Pakistan. I think we have some evidence of 2 or 3 other people out of the country that voted. Is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 2 or 3 other people out of the country, as well as people residing outside of the district.
Okay. The online voter registration system, it seems to be an honor system. Anybody can put information in there to register to vote. All you have to do is click a box and say that you're not lying, and then you'll get an email from the Secretary of State or something in the mail saying, thank you for registering to vote. And there you are. Once you're on the voter rolls, anytime an election comes around, guess what? You get mailed a ballot, right? You get mailed something to vote. So we found that a little.
With whatever information that they took at the initial time of registering you to vote. So wherever your address was, whatever, and maybe you didn't have an address. Maybe you just put a temporary location. Maybe you used a library or a drop box or a bathroom stall outside of a park in your closest neighborhood. This is how they do it, folks. And time again across the country. Now, obviously, this video here is not LA County; it's San Joaquin County, in a different place. However, the institution and the apparatus still remains in place, folks. The fact that there are institutionalized systems to bolster and build this election weaponization against the free and uniting populist movement of America. That is what we're fighting here, folks. That is what Spencer Pratt is fighting, is this institutionalized control of the system in which has been employed against us, right? Now, at looking at this, it's actually this I actually don't like this chart but I do want to read what I wrote, because this is an important factor. You have to take in consideration this important factor. Now, I'm sure Karen Bass, not many people like her, but she has the name recognition against Nithya Raman. She has the incumbent strength against the other candidates. So, when you take a look just from a statistical data point entry position, this is what we're up against here. Spencer Pratt did not lose the second place slot in the Los Angeles mayoral race. Even with 2-to-1 Democrat voters in California, that does not account for the data currently coming in. Just based off statistics alone, Karen Bass should have gained a plurality of incoming votes, yet the majority of Democrat votes came in for Nithya Raman, the one who needed the votes to push Pratt out of second place. This is outright election interference and fraud right in front of America's face. Spencer Pratt has to seek serious investigations, maybe even help from the federal government. I don't know. But if you still think elections are safe and secure with mail-in ballots and electronic voting registration and dirty voter rolls, you probably wear Velcro sneakers too. Okay? This is what we're sitting at, folks. And this is the problem that we're facing here. And just to reaffirm that, going back to the ballot book, going back to this website that I was pulling up here earlier, this is the telltale sign. This is the smoking gun, in my opinion. In my opinion, this is what we're looking at, and this is what is happening here. You can go up here. You can. This is what I was going to talk about before I had to go run out and deal with all the hail, right? Okay, so on this website, you can look at the total votes, every vote counted. You can check the early votes, the early arriving votes. You can check the ballots cast at voting centers on election day. And for this example, most importantly, your late arriving ballots. And this is considered ballots counted after election night. Mostly mail, postmarked by election day, plus provisional and same-day registration ballots. So you could register on the same day that you vote. What kind of corrupt level of control is that? Let me know in the comments, okay? Let's take a look here. So we're going to click on late arriving. And I don't know if I can zoom in more. Okay. We're going to show you right here, okay? So this here is late arriving ballots for the LA mayoral race. And Nithya Raman is coming in at the first place spot for late arriving ballots. And if you look at the far right side of this, you can see very clearly there is a discrepancy and a disparaging amount between the numbers that we see here. Okay, folks? What do you notice? What do you notice? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. What do you notice about these numbers over here? You got Spencer Pratt coming in at Spencer Pratt coming in at negative 8.2 points overall for late arriving ballots. You got Karen Bass coming in at negative 0.2 points. Not 0.2, which is almost negligible. But the most important number of them all, you've got Nithya Raman coming in at a screaming hot 10.5 points overall for the counting of her votes. So an average of 10 points over the entire of. There's a 10-point overall disparaging number of late arriving ballots coming in for Nithya Raman. A scorching hot number beyond the pale when we're comparing comparing to Karen Bass. Why did Karen Bass not even get any late arriving ballots? Why did a plurality of the late arriving ballots all showed up for the third place degenerate candidate who didn't even have a favorable position coming out of the mayoral debate? prior to election. She was on track to hold that third place position. She was unfavorable in the mayoral race leading up to election day. So why did all of a sudden she get a screaming 10 plus points overall to her competitors? You answer me that, folks. And then you have Spencer Pratt coming in with a plus 7.8 overall for election day. Okay, so you got a lot of people showing up for Spencer Pratt in person. That is traditionally how Republicans vote. They like to vote in person. Okay, however, you could say the same thing about Democrats, right? Oh yeah, the Democrats are always reluctant late day, and you know they all whoopsie daisy, we forgot about election day, so we got to do a last minute vote, folks. Why are we even accepting the fact that election day is the same? You could register to vote the same day and vote the same day. And why are ballots being counted after election night? This is what I'm calling the institutional corruption. This is what I'm calling to be investigated. This is what we need to be screaming about, is the institutionalized corruption on all levels. It's not just the Democrats apparatus, okay? It is the Secretary of States, it is the county clerks, it is the laws they pass, it is the legislation that they employ, it is every aspect of this system that has been chipping away at our election process. Cycle over cycle, year over year, we continue to see this being eroded away, and they further entrench themselves. They dig themselves in deeper, like a tick burrowing its head into the host victim. These institutionalized, procedural, quote-unquote, victories that we see using mail-in ballots, using legal and lawful means of voting methods, right? This is how they win. And it's all through corrupt procedural process. And very quickly, I am going to snip this because this is actually a good clip to. This is a good screenshot to post. I'm gonna save that. Bada bing, bada boom, looking beautiful. Okay, we're gonna zoom back out. All right. But we're gonna wrap up this point very quickly here because I had one other video that I wanted to show you. But if you enjoy my rants, if you enjoy my kind of unscripted rantings and ravings about all these things, hit that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up button, share this with someone else who would be interested to know a little bit more about the institutionalized corruption and what I truly think we need to do in order to stop it. We have to. It's a multi-fronted assault, right? We have to do a lot of different things to fight this problem, but. It really comes back down to coordinating an effort and having this grassroots effort, but also understanding that nothing will change unless we gain the institutional control of these processes. If we don't have the means to regain a Secretary of State's office or regain and repeal some of these bad election laws that are within our states, like there needs to be a reckoning. There needs to be a hierarchical hammer to be dropped on all of these corrupt states and counties and institutions that are employing this method of practice that is keeping these states captured by this cultural Marxism, by this globalism, by this progressivism rot in our country. So with that being said, this is Jennifer Hawks for state treasurer. She is running, I believe, in California for state treasurer. Shout out to her, retired businesswoman running to bring accountability and efficiency to the California State Treasury. Let's go. So I found this video, and this actually has completely just gone viral. But I saw this video, and I said we have to do something about it because this is what I've been talking about the whole time. So let's take a listen here, and we will break it down as it goes, okay?
I don't know if you've had a chance to see this clip from KTLA that was shot yesterday, but it's a very important piece, and I want you to watch it.
Just dropped in two of California's biggest primary election races.
This as a federal prosecutor announces multiple election fraud investigations in California. KTLA's Shelby Nelson joins us live from Rancho Cucamonga with the latest numbers. Shelby?
Hi, Sharon, Micah. Yeah, before we get to those claims of election fraud, let's talk about these numbers that were just updated and just came out. Let's take a look at the graphic. First, for the gubernatorial race, the Associated Press has declared Javier Becerra one of the winners in the race for governor, who will advance to the general election in November. Hilton closely trailing with 26% of the vote, both separated by about 17,000 votes. Now, Karen Bass, on to the next election. Karen Bass advancing to the general election. But the big story here is Nithya Raman has closed the gap between.
Obviously, this was a couple days ago. This was before Nithya Raman just so happened to take over the lead in second place for over Spencer Pratt. But let's keep going.
Between her and Spencer Pratt significantly. He's now ahead by just 3 points. As results for the primary election come into focus, the president taking aim at California's election process, claiming that Democrats are trying to steal the gubernatorial and LA mayoral elections. In a post to Truth Social, President Trump comparing the election process to a third world country, saying the biggest difference is they count their votes much faster. They don't wait 7 days to tell you who won, rigging the election during each and every one of them. But the president provided no evidence to back these unfounded claims. California Secretary of State Shirley Weber's office countering those claims, saying votes go through numerous verification steps, including signature verification, tabulation, audits, and reporting of results to their office.
And so here's the thing, folks. We're not disputing that. I'm not disputing that when they say votes go through numerous verification steps, including signature verification, tabulation, audits, and reporting of results to the Office of the Secretary of State, sure, all of that sounds good and dandy, and they very well may just do that exact thing. However, when they have instituted laws, when they have passed laws, and they have updated their Secretary of State's conditions of elections to allow for very lax and very, let's just say, open-ended verification processes for signatures and voter registration information, then you can get a lot of new voters, couldn't you? You can get a lot more people on those voter rolls, couldn't you? Let's keep watching.
Experts say in a state of more than 23 million registered voters, it's simply a process that takes time.
That's the law. It's nothing fraudulent. It's nothing untoward. The reason it's taking a long time is that the people counting the ballots take their time matching signatures, doing exactly what the kinds of people who criticize the system say ought to be done.
First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley announcing that his office is working with the FBI in multiple election fraud investigations that are underway. In a post to X, he said in part, "We will follow the evidence wherever it leads and prosecute any violations of federal election law to the fullest extent." Asaley's office telling us they sent an assistant U.S. attorney to an LA ballot processing center Friday to observe the vote counting. Asaley has also criticized the election process and called for voter ID requirements.
It's a valid point. Perhaps there are things that California should do to speed up the voter process. But the notion that there's some kind of massive fraud going on is just ridiculous.
Now, we did ask Asaley's office several questions where...
This is the cheating that's been going on in California for 16 years.
Yeah, let's let her finish up. She's kind of in the corner here, but I'm going to let her finish up. But yes, I will concur with her statement because this is institutionalized, legal, quote, and this is the thing. When you argue or when Democrats or these people say, oh, mail-in ballot fraud doesn't exist or election fraud doesn't exist, it's all legal. Everything they're doing is legal. Yeah. It's legal because the people that have written the laws, the people that are in these positions of power, the Secretary of States, the district attorneys, the attorney generals, everyone within it, the judiciary, every single person who would be the one in the position to make that honest claim against fraud is implicitly working with the fraud. They are all together employing this regime against the constitutional Republic of America. Let's keep listening to Jennifer Hawks here, how she finishes up
years
with this.
Now. They have this down to an art. The fact that they have already called this race for him after Steve was ahead at the end of election night is a sham, and we all know it. Luckily, the FBI and the feds are on the ground, and this thing better get exposed because I tell you, folks, we can't take too much more of this here in the state of California. They are destroying this state. Nothing is fair here anymore. Nothing.
And shout out to her. Cheers for that, because that is exactly the state of play. And California is a very apparent example of rampant election fraud and election interference, folks. And that's kind of where I was going with this, and trying to understand from the larger narrative that this entire thing, what we're seeing right now, and what we're seeing across the country through these deep blue districts, these deep blue states, folks, they are dismissing DOJ lawsuits. They are denying federal access to their voter registration. They are claiming it's a breach of privacy. There are various roadblocks and all this legal bureaucracy and jargon that stonewalls the efforts to streamline our election process. The SAVE Act is dead on arrival because John Thune is reluctant to pass it, and we can't get it done on a federal level. We need a federal backbone. We need a federal baseline for how our elections should be operating. And the SAVE Act was a great step in that direction. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not, and I've said that before. But what it comes back down to is that every single state is employing their own method and operations to run their elections. And when blue states further entrench the bureaucracy, the corruption, putting bad actors in high-end positions, and manipulating and obstructing and limiting the scope of various opportunities, and the Secretary of State like Jenna Griswold here in Colorado, limiting the scope and consolidating power into the Secretary of State's office to make sure that the election system can only be audited by their own approved individuals, their own institutions and their own machines. Everything has to be a closed circuit system, and only approved people through the Secretary of State's office could conduct audits. How is that supposed to be honest? How is that supposed to be true? How is that supposed to be trustworthy for the public and for the people to believe in the election process of any state? Wrapping up. Federal court dismisses DOJ lawsuit seeking sensitive data of 23 million California voters. This comes off the heels of the Justice Department suing 6 states for failure to provide voter registration data. Okay, so the Department of Justice has sued over 30 states regarding their voter registration data, and I do believe that there is grounds, that there is standings, that they need to come in and clean up the voter rolls. 100%. Judicial Watch was doing the same thing in Colorado, and Judicial Watch is suing other states for just the same kind of stuff. Okay, maybe they have to find another legal way around it, but a federal court dismissed the U.S. Department of Justice's lawsuit to compel California to turn over sensitive personal information of 23 million registered voters. The U.S. District Judge David O. Carter granted motions to dismiss filed by the state of California and the intervener defendants, including the NCAP held California Hawaii, state conferences, blah, blah, blah. So, long story short, District Court Judge David O. Carter granted motion to dismiss this federal lawsuit seeking sensitive voter roll data. Quote unquote, sensitive voter roll data. The federal government already has our data. Okay, they are trying to make sure that the people that are registered to vote in these state elections within the state departments of elections are actual people who should be voting. Why should someone that's in California, why should someone who's registered to vote in California who moves to another state, why should they still be on a California voter roll ballot? Or the voter rolls? But I guarantee you they still are. You see it time and time again. You see all these different people across the nation getting duplicate ballots, mail-in ballots, ballots of relatives, old roommates, old tenants, all these people, stacks upon stacks of mail-in ballots of people that shouldn't even be getting them. Okay? This is the system that is being institutionalized by these blue states. Okay? Now, let's take a look at Mr. District Court Judge David O. Carter. Okay? David O. Carter. Pulled it up here. He's got a long storied history. He was working with notable cases, the Gay Straight Alliance. Okay? And this was a case regarding the promoting homosexual tolerance to meet on campus. Okay, he had a case against the Mexican Mafia cartels, Anna Nicole Smith. So this guy was appointed, his position, this man, Judge David O. Carter, was appointed his position by Bill Clinton. Carter was nominated by President Bill Clinton on June 25th, 1998 to fill his vacated seat. And so when I talk about institutionalized individuals in branches of our government to undermine our constitutional republic, this is a person that would be at such case, at such position, okay? On January 15, 2026, United States v. Shirley Weber for voter data. Carter ruled that the federal government could not force California to hand over sensitive voter information such as voters' names, addresses, birth date, driver license, social security numbers. Carter wrote in his dissent, "The centralization of this information by the federal government would have a chilling effect on voter registration, which would inevitably lead to decreasing voter turnout as voters fear that their information is being used for some inappropriate or unlawful purpose. This risk threatens the rights to vote, which is the cornerstone of American democracy." This is the same BS liberal jargon that you hear time and time again. Okay? Jenna Griswold says the same trash about the Colorado lawsuit. The federal government already has all of our information. So what harm is it going to introduce if the federal government has our voter information? They already know how we vote and where we vote. It already goes through. They're the ones who gave us our social security number. We have to file IRS taxes with them. We have to bank through them. We have all these things that we already do through the government. So what does it even matter if the government has our voter information? That's like the least important thing on the list of important things for government surveillance and data. They already track us on our phones. They already track every cookie and every IP address that we use on our social media. They already know where we drive with our smartphone, with our smart tech cars. Come on. These people are outright just obfuscation and pathetic attempts to try to justify their weaponized election process and their weaponized election system. That is what we're fighting against. They are all working together. The judiciary protects the executive branch decisions that the legislative branch passes laws on. And this is how it works, folks. This is what I've been saying it for such a long time. And smash the thumbs up button and share this video if you guys agree with me. But this is how it works, okay? We have a cultural Marxist legislation. So the legislator, all of these elected representatives in our state offices, in our state institutions, the House districts, the state senators, all these people pass laws that further entrench and further erode away our rights in various degrees. And I'm just speaking specifically to election interference, an election process in a state, right? You get these state elected representatives and senators passing election laws that work with the Secretary of State's office, that work with the district attorney's offices, that then the Attorney General decides to enforce or not enforce, or lax enforcement, or you name it, however you want to see fit, okay? Then those laws get instituted by the executive branch, okay? And then when anyone tries to buck the narrative, or anyone tries to bark for accountability, whether it be through county clerks, whether it be through precincts, whether it be through the NVRA and the federal government, the DOJ complaints, you name it, whenever we get complaints and it has to go up the judiciary via lawsuits, you get corrupt judiciary, you get corrupt co-opted judges in their district seats, in their district seats or their federal seats, wherever they sit, and they legislate to follow the laws that are antithetical to the constitutional republic that we are living within, and they follow the laws that were passed by the corrupt legislation that are enforced by the corrupt executive. Do you see how it all works together? And that's why I'm trying to say, when they say it's lawful, just because it's lawful does not mean it is how it should be. It is the effective way. Just because they pass a law legalizing pedophilia let's just say we just pass a law legalizing child marriages, right? Oh, but it's lawful, right? It's lawful. So it's not wrong for them to marry off an 8-year-old, right? Does that make any sense, folks? Does that make any sense? Shit. Sorry, but smash the thumbs up button. Let me know what you think, because that's where I'm coming from with all this, folks. And I'm going to leave you with this because it ties right in with, is it lawful, right? When we talk about signature verification, right? That video we just watched a few minutes ago, we're talking about, they're taking a very long time. All of these election judges and election officials, they're taking a very long time because they're verifying signatures and making sure the signatures match the voter information on file, right? That's what they're doing. That's why it's taking so long. Sure. And here we have an exact example, okay? This is in California law. Again, going back to, is it lawful? Many have been asking me to describe a potential signature verification loophole for Los Angeles mail-in ballots. This is from David Hermeti, and it's been passed around social media everywhere. But it says, if a voter is unable to sign, the voter can make a mark witnessed by one person. Here, the person drew a happy face and quote, witnessed it with a scribble. That scribble isn't validated as being a real person, no name, nothing. While a happy face may draw scrutiny, a plain line would not. This could hypothetically enable mass harvesting where the voter never fills out, signs, or even sees their own ballot. We should be told how many ballots show up without the voter's signature. Okay? This is the problem, folks. Just because they passed the law doesn't mean it's not corrupt and evil and wrong and completely destroying the way our country operates. Folks, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think. Share this video with all your friends and family. We are wrapping up this mail-in ballot Monday. I've decided that's what today is going to be called. But keep a lookout on social media for some more posts coming from me, some more videos coming from me. We got a lot more things coming down the pike. And I'm going to be letting you all know that in the next few weeks, we've got some great events coming our way. So be sure to stay involved, stay informed. Follow me on social media. Follow me on X. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, you name it. All the great places. Let me see if I can find. I don't know why I can't, like, why we're having such a difficult time here. Rumble is just looking super weird right now. I just don't know why it has to keep doing what it's doing. Let's see if I can find someone to raid. I'm just looking for someone to raid. We could raid. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go raid the man, the myth, the legend, Owen Schroyer.
Weekend.
Yeah, he's with Kim Iverson right now. Or is that Kim? Is that Kim Iverson? I think it is. But we're gonna raid Owen Schroyer on the Schroyer Report, because good man with the plan, knows what he's doing. So I appreciate everyone being here. Thanks for tuning in. And I am going to see you soon. See you next time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. Work schedule's being a little bit weird, but you know how that is. So without further ado, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. And as always, fight for freedom and never give up.